The good news is today it's good enough weather to at least record outside. And now we're on to the next installment of my top 5 greatest players for each NBA franchise. This time around, it's the Los Angeles Lakers. Boy, do I have an interesting one here. Because I was going through the list. I started thinking of the list and then some honorable mentions. I'm looking at the honorable mentions. I'm like, multiple Hall of Famers? Numerous multi-time All-Stars and NBA champions are being listed as honorable mentions. That's how you know the Los Angeles Lakers have a deep and storied franchise. Thus, the fact that I'm listing off Basketball Hall of Fame members and multi-time champions and multi-time All-Stars as honorable mentions. Whew! Yeah, it's a loaded list, folks. Let's get right into the honorable mentions. We're starting off with Michael Cooper. Michael Cooper was a guard. He was that part of that big three with Kareem and Magic during the late 80s when they had that rivalry with the Celtics, considered the greatest rivalry in NBA history. And Michael Cooper now, he was a multi-time All-Star, and he was a good player, especially his career only lasted till, he had a good career. Wasn't great, but he was a good third man in that team, and he gave them another option along with Kareem and Magic to make that team a big three and to bring multiple championships to LA with Pat Riley as the head coach. That was part of the original boom period for the Lakers as far as winning championships repeatedly. And Michael Cooper really wasn't the most recognizable name, not the best player on the team, but a good player who contributed, certainly worthy of an honorable mention. And then another honorable mention from those teams, James Worthy. Think about it. James Worthy's in the Basketball Hall of Fame. He's considered the number 2 guy behind Magic Johnson once Kareem started to wind down. We talk about Kareem, Magic, Worthy, then Michael Cooper. And the fact that Worthy, a Finals MVP, and a member of the Basketball Hall of Fame, is an honorable mention, again, goes to show you the proud history of the Los Angeles Lakers. But yes, James Worthy was a name that a lot of fans remember from those 80s days. Those glory years of the Lakers. He was another great offensive player. He wasn't the number 1 guy, but another good option. And certainly a guy the Lakers were proud to have on their team. And he was another it factor for that team that helped them win. And then moving on, another one from the pre-Magic days, Elgin Baylor. We remember him more as an executive for the Clippers and the failures of the Clippers, but as a player, he was a multi-time All-Star and an all-time great for the Lakers in the early years. During the NBA-ABA split. And that fact that he's an honorable mention, again, and he is a Hall of Famer, and an honorable mention for the Lakers goes to show you just how deep this history is. And the last one for honorable mention is going to be Pau Gasol. You guys remember, he was part of that 2008 trade from the Grizzlies to the Lakers. He gave the Lakers that extra spark they needed to get over the hump prior, because they get that point after Shaq where they made the playoffs a few times. Kobe balled out, but they couldn't get very far. And, they kind of bounced out in the opening round twice to the Suns. But then all of a sudden, Pau Gasol came in. His hard-nosed style of play meshed well with Kobe. They had that great chemistry. And Pau Gasol stepped up his game from the Grizzlies. He was already a good all-around player, but then he stepped up and was that it factor that took the Lakers from a playoff team to championship contender and eventually back-to-back NBA champion. Pau Gasol certainly deserves a nod because he was that difference maker that took the Lakers back to the championship post-Kobe Shaq. As a matter of fact, Kobe and Pau had a tighter bond than Kobe and Shaq ever did. Matter of fact, Kobe's family still referred to him as Uncle Pau. And matter of fact, Vanessa Bryant, the widow of Kobe, was there when Pau's jersey was retired by the Lakers. So this was certainly worthy of all-time Laker recognition. Now on to the top 5. We're going to start a man who passed away last year. Great on the court, but also better known for being a great executive. And that's Jerry West. Jerry West, he did win a championship back in the 70s. He was also the 1969 most valuable player, I believe. But he was an MVP, multi-time All-Star, and NBA champion with the Lakers. He was one of those original superstars. That was the pre-Magic, pre-Kareem, pre-Kobe, pre-Shaq, pre-LeBron, pre-AD, pre-Luka. soon to be, and so on and so forth. But he was it. That guy for the Los Angeles Lakers originally was Jerry West. He was the face of the franchise. Matter of fact, he was so dominant and such an important figure that the NBA logo was carved after him. He was that original great player, alongside Wilt. He was part of that, one of those greats, and along with Wilt, Bill Russell before Kareem played his full career, Magic, Jordan, so on and so forth. But I only have him at number 5. Now we get to number 4. I'm going to go Shaquille O'Neal. Now, Jerry West had a longer career at the Lakers. He was more dominant statistically for the franchise, but I put Shaq at 4 because Shaq had more of an impact. With all due respect to Jerry West, that was during a relatively weaker era of the NBA, but in the case of Shaq, during his tenure with the Lakers, even though it ended on bad terms, he had his best years. 3-time NBA champion. One of the only players to win MVP of the regular season, All-Star Game MVP, and Finals MVP in 2000. And during that three-peat the Lakers had, 2001, 2001, and 2002, Shaq was the Finals MVP all 3 times. And he came over 96 from the Orlando Magic, still one of the biggest free agency moves in NBA history. And this was Shaq at his peak. He was blocking shit. He was dunking. He was doing everything. Shaquille O'Neal, and the fact that he's only number 4, again, speaks to the greatness of the Lakers historically. So we got him number 4. Number 3, Magic Johnson, considered to be the greatest point guard of all time. Only number 3 on this list. But when you talk about the face of the Lakers, during that era, during the 80s, it was Magic Johnson. It's called the Magic Bird rivalry for a reason. And with all those championship wins the Lakers had in the 80s, when the 80s was the Lakers-Celtics era, Magic Johnson was the face of the Lakers. And he's still considered, like I said, to be the greatest point guard of all time. Great all-around player, great shooter, great assist man. Great